Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Brittany, and if this is your first time stumbling across one of my videos, I do focus on fashion, beauty, and lifestyle. So if that seems like something that you may be interested in, please think about clicking on that subscribe button if you enjoy the content, of course. Also, if you're already a subscriber, thank you so much for tuning back in. Make sure you click on that notification bell because I upload twice a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays, so I don't want you to miss a video. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you all my top 10 fragrance layering combinations. Now, you guys have been asking for this video for quite some time, and I was hesitant because I don't feel like I'm an expert in fragrances. I do have a lot of fragrances that I've acquired, but I don't consider myself to be an expert. I don't know all the notes. I can't just recall each smell, just by the name. So I just wasn't sure if I wanted to do that, but I do have some layering combinations that I use, and I think you guys would enjoy them too because I know a lot of you guys have some of the same fragrances that I do. So if you are interested, then stick around. So when it comes to layering fragrances, I'm sure there is some proper science behind it, but like I mentioned, I'm no expert, okay, girl? So I just layer what I think would go together, and honestly, the funny thing is the way that I do most of my layering is literally by going to my vanity and picking up two fragrances that I love, or some that I find are a little bit similar but different, or maybe I want to add something to a fragrance and I look at my fragrance collection to see what I have that would add to that fragrance, and I just sniff them at the same time and see if it works. If I hate it right then and there, I won't even try it on the skin. I know that is like so unscientific, but that's how I've kind of learned, and through that I've been able to kind of layer according to notes and things like that. So I only have one tip when it comes to layering fragrances, and that is to lay down your strongest fragrance first. So let's just say if you have like a super florally fragrance, but you want to add some depth to it and you want to add like a little sweetness, or if you have a super masculine fragrance and you want to add some sweetness or some floral to it, you want to lay down that super strong fragrance first and then top it with what you're looking for to add to it, if that makes any sense. Now, that's how I do it, and I feel like that's a great way to begin layering fragrances. Like I said before, I'm sure there are other ways, if you have like a really keen nose, you can layer according to notes and you just know what goes together and things like that. But that's how I like to do it. So in layman's terms, think about food. Like if you have some mashed potatoes and you want to add a little spice, a little pepper, right? You put your pepper on it. It's just peppered mashed potatoes. Now, if you douse it in pepper, it's still overly peppered mashed potatoes. Right? So those are the kind of things that I think about when I'm layering fragrances. I'll have a fragrance that I want to wear and I'm like, this needs a little bit of that. This needs a little bit of this. Okay. So my first layering combination are both Tom Ford private blends. And we're going to start with Tom Ford Effing Fabulous. And we're going to add Tom Ford Lost Cherry. Now, Tom Ford Effing Fabulous is what a lot of people would consider to be a masculine fragrance. It has like this almond milky note in there, and it's kind of powdery. So to me, it can lean a little bit more feminine, but I can understand why people think that this is super masculine, and a lot of women are afraid of this one. I've talked about this on social media, on my Instagram. I have like a little mini review, and I do feel like this is for like a super confident woman. I see this in the cold weather with a nice leather jacket. Like it's a bad A. It's a bad A fragrance, okay? But if you're a little bit nervous about this and you think you want it, but you're not sure how to wear it, and you have Tom Ford's Lost Cherry, just layer it, put this down first, and then put you a couple of squirts of this on top. I like to do one spray of Effing Fabulous and maybe 2 sprays of Lost Cherry. If you're a little bit more bold, you can do 2 sprays of Effing Fabulous and 1 spray of the Lost Cherry. And that way you can still get that like masculine kind of like cold weather vibe, but you've sweetened it up, kind of sexied it up a little bit and made it a little bit more feminine with Tom Ford's Lost Cherry, which you guys know that Tom Ford Lost Cherry is a super sweet, sour liqueur type of cherry fragrance, and this is one of my favorites. This is the first fragrance that I've learned to layer with. Like, to me, this goes with so many different things. So I started layering with this first, and that's how I kind of like developed my love for layering fragrances. So this is one of my first layering combinations that I discovered, and I absolutely love these two together. Like I said, if you're afraid of effing fabulous, add a little bit of Lost Cherry on that. Your life would be changed. Now, since we already have Lost Cherry, I'm going to pick up my Baccarat Rouge 540. You guys know these are some of my favorite fragrances ever in my collection. Now, Baccarat Rouge 540 is known to be a very strong fragrance. It does not go anywhere. Some people say that it plays hide and seek, but this one is fabulous all on its own. But sometimes you may get a little bit tired of Baccarat Rouge. One day I actually had wore this all day, and I came home freshened up and added this on top, and my life was changed, okay? This is an amazing combination. It kind of takes away that, some people say Band-Aid smell. The Lost Cherry kind of removes that, and it also just adds a feminine touch. Baccarat Rouge is known to be a unisex fragrance, but this definitely makes it a more feminine fragrance in my opinion, even though, you know, any gender can wear any of these. But I love these two together. Now, this is a sweet combination, so if you're not into sweet fragrances, you would not like this. It's not a nauseating sweetness in my opinion, or a clawing sweetness, but it's definitely a sweet scent, and it's a gut puncher. It is definitely like super seductive, sexy. Love these two together. So I lay down Baccarat Rouge. I don't count the sprays on Baccarat Rouge because I'm not afraid of this one. And then I just add like 1 or 2 sprays on top of the Lost Cherry, because again, Baccarat Rouge is amazing on its own, but Lost Cherry just adds that extra bit of oomph, and it kind of wakes it up a little bit because this has that tart cherry smell to it. So it's kind of like a little bit more refreshing, if you will. So now that we have Baccarat Rouge 540, let's go ahead and pull out our Oud Satin Mood. Now, this is a deadly combination. If you're trying to seduce, if you are going out like for a dinner or like, oh, just a sexy night out, girl, this is it. I'm talking about RBE sexy. It is, listen, turn heads, okay? Because Baccarat Rouge, we've already talked about this. It has that saffron in it. It's kind of a sweet, strong scent, but then you add this like super powdery, rich smell on top. I mean, it's just so good. So I start off with Baccarat Rouge, and I layer the Oud Satin Mood on top. Every single thing. It adds a little bit of a powdery, sweetened note to this. It's just so good. And when you put on, I like to do this one first because I just love Baccarat Rouge. I like to do the Oud Satin Mood first, and then I like to top it with the Baccarat Rouge. I don't know what it does, but girl, listen, okay? It is sexy date night. It is every head is turning and they are following your trail. This is a deadly combination, and honestly, like a man and a woman can wear this, but to me, it's not really masculine. It's just giving Dubai vibes. You know what I'm saying? Rich Dubai vibes. This is the one. Abu Dhabi, if you will. Yes, ma'am. So my next layering combination is Lancome's Oud Bouquet and Shaggoff Oud. Now, this is considered to be a dupe for Lancome's Oud Bouquet, but in my opinion, Lancome's Oud Bouquet has a little bit more of a praline note. So this has rose, praline, and oud in it, but on me, it kind of dries down a lot more praline, kind of edible gourmand. And this one is a little bit more sharp. I get a little bit more rose out of it, and I also get a little bit more incense in this one. So if I'm going for like a heavy hitter, girl, I mix these two together and it just helps it not to dry down so praline on me. And it just, to me, it smells like it would when I first initially sprayed this, when I layer these two together. So these are heavy hitters. This one does not go anywhere, okay? Ever. This one will dry down on you. It does last well, but I'm just saying it will dry down to kind of like a different scent. I find that this one has the exact same smell throughout. So I like to layer them together just so that I get a little bit more longevity and more of the top of this fragrance. So I love these two together, which is why I have not gotten rid of my Shaggoff Oud, because at first I was like, do I need both? But layering these, Absolutely amazing. So speaking of Shagaf Oud, like I mentioned, this is a super strong fragrance. It has the rose, the oud, the incense. It's a beautiful, beautiful scent. And it's super strong and more masculine in my opinion. So I do like to layer this with Oud Silk Mood from Francis Kirk John. Now to me, this can be a very masculine combination, but baby, I'm talking Rick Ross the Boss rich. You know what I'm saying? Like that type of Aston Martin music rich. That's the vibe here. My boyfriend layers these two and it smells absolutely divine. I've layered these two and I get tons and tons of compliments. So the Silk Mood is a very sharp rose in my opinion. This is one that I don't like to wear alone. I only get like a super masculine sharp rose. It's interesting when you think about a rose and how usually it's feminine. With the oud, it makes this rose very masculine, but mixing these two together, like I said, Rick Ross the Boss, Aston Martin music, RBE, honey, listen, rich man vibes, okay? Like he's getting on a private jet and you're right there behind him and you're using the combination too. So I love these two together, but I cannot wear these all the time. I have to really be in the mood, but these two together, they smell phenomenal, okay? Phenomenal. Please, if you have these two, try it out. My next combination is a Gourmand Dream. Okay, it is so beautiful. It's so feminine. It's so sexy. This is femininity in a bottle. Okay, so I have Myrrh and Tonka from Jo Malone and a Gentle Fluidity Gold from Francis Kirk John. Now, Myrrh and Tonka, I love this on the dry down. I like the scent in general. Let me remind myself. Oh yes, I love the scent in general. It has a little bit of a powdery note on top, but the dry down on this is nothing but edible tonka bean. It is just beautiful, you guys. And oh, I just can't, just thinking about this. But when you layer it with Gentle Fluidity Gold, it has that musky vanilla in there. It just makes for an edible, sweet, feminine woman. Okay, if you're looking for a feminine combination that's still giving not your everyday girl, you know what I'm saying, it's not gonna be just, it's not generic. If you're looking for something like that, try mixing these two because like I told you guys before, I really want Gentle Fluidity Gold to be one of my signature scents because it's so feminine in my opinion. I love that vanillic undertone and it's musky as well. I like to put this on skin and on my clothes because on skin it dries down pretty musky, but on clothes it keeps a little bit of that vanillic in there and it kind of gives off a tonka bean smell as well. It's just like cotton candy in a way, but grown up cotton candy, grown and sexy cotton candy. But mixing it with this Myrrh and Tonka from Jo Malone, it just takes it to a whole new level. Like I said, if you're looking for femininity elevated, this is the one, okay? And not feminine, rosy feminine. That I don't like to be that kind of feminine, only like if it's like super hot outside on a spring day. But this is a signature scent combination here. It's everything. Now here is another one of my favorite combinations. This is a new combination for me. I have Rouge Smoking from BDK Perfumes. Check out my review on this. I'll have it linked in the cards or either down below. And I have, of course, Tom Ford Lost Cherry. I cannot with Tom Ford Lost Cherry. Like this is one of my favorite layering perfumes. It just goes with everything. Now Rouge Smoking, in my opinion, it does kind of give like that cherry cola vibe, but it's a perfect like everyday scent and it's really close to the body. It lasts a long time, but it does not project that well. If you add Lost Cherry, it gives it a little bit more projection and it also brings it up a little bit because again, this to me is a soft fragrance. So a lot of the times we confuse soft fragrances with not lasting. This is soft and close to the body. It just does not project. Tom Ford Lost Cherry helps this project and it gives it a little bit of that tartness that I like too. So these two together are so beautiful. But it's like an everyday type of fragrance. You know what I'm saying? For the fall and winter, it is definitely a sweet smell because this has a lot of vanilla in there and cherry, and this also has cherry and an almond note in there as well. So these two together are so good, but again, it's not like a it's not a gut punch or anything like this. It's just a pretty everyday laid back combination. And here we go again with Lost Cherry, you guys. I told you guys this was how I started layering. So of course I tried this with like so many different fragrances and I love it. Okay, so the next combination would be Lost Cherry with Silk Mood. I told you guys that Silk Mood is like a sharp masculine rose in my opinion, but adding this cherry on top, it just makes it a little bit more feminine, a little bit more sweet, and it does something different. Instead of just adding like a basic vanilla undertone, this just adds like a little bit of an element of surprise, and I really like this. Now a man can wear this or a female, and I think that this would be a beautiful daytime scent too, but you have to be, just keep in mind that Silk Mood is real strong, girl. Okay, this, like, a lot of people are afraid of Silk Mood, but I think it's still one that is worth having, because though it's kind of difficult to wear, everybody won't be wearing it. You know what I'm saying? But if you love a rose scent, you'll love Silk Mood, but just add on that Lost Cherry for a little bit more of a feminine touch. It's everything. You need it. You need the combo, girl. I'm sure you guys noticed that most of my combinations are like gourmand, and that's because I'm a gourmand lover and I love fall and winter fragrances. So that's kind of that's when I do my most layering combinations, because I feel like I can get away with more heavy hitters during that time. But I do have a couple of summer fragrances that I do like to mix and match. So let's go ahead and get into those. So the first like spring summer layering combination is two Jo Malones, and it's kind of a freebie because they did come in a set, and I was out of town one time. I got tired of wearing one, so I just put both of them together and they smell amazing. I wouldn't have thought that, but they do. So first we have Peony and Blush Suede, and then we have Wood Sage and Sea Salt. Now Wood Sage and Sea Salt literally smells like wood sage and sea salt. It reminds me of like a rainy day, kind of woody, can be a bit masculine if you would like it to be, but it's still soft and beautiful. And then Peony and Blush Suede, it just, to me, it smells like ladies who brunch, ladies who lunch. Think of like going to brunch and you have on like a little cute corset style dress that kind of flares out, you know what I'm saying, with a little hat. Like, that's just what I get from Peony and Blush Suede. So anytime I want to feel ultra feminine in the spring and summer, I pull out my Peony and Blush Suede, especially when it's hot. I know it's going to perform well. This lasts really well on my skin. I know Jo Malone does not do well in the lasting department, but this one lasts a long time. Now, when I need to tone this down and maybe add like a little bit of sex appeal, I add on that Wood Sage and Sea Salt because it is a little bit more masculine, a little bit more unisex. So let's just say if you have this on during the day and then you came home, you were going to transition over to night and you only brought these two fragrances, add this one on top and there you have it. You have you a nighttime scent, but you're still that same feminine, fresh girl, if that makes any sense. So I really like these two in the summer, the spring and summer, and I always travel with these in the spring and summer as well. My next layering combination is a weird one, I will have to say, but I do like them together. They mix really well on my skin, and this is Versace's Dylan Blue. It has a green apple note in there. It's really crisp, very strong. This is a lasting fragrance, and it's feminine by all means. It's not a unisex in my opinion, very feminine scent. And then I have Tom Ford's Metalique, which has a vanillic scent. It has that heliotrope in there. And these two together, the only reason why I like to mix these is because this one can kind of give me a headache. It's so strong in my opinion. I need like a vanillic undertone, and that is exactly what this adds. And this has like a fresh vanilla scent to it, so it really does pair well with the freshness of this green apple kind of florally scent. So like I said, it's an odd combination, but it just does what it needs to do for me. I really can't wear Dylan Blue alone unless I know it's like spring, summer, and I'm going to be in the air condition, because if I get too hot and I smell this, it's going to give me a headache. But mixing Tom Ford Metaliques on top of this, it really does help tone that little sharpness down for me, and I'm able to wear this for a longer period of time because this is a beautiful, beautiful, affordable fragrance for women. And I think that this is signature scent worthy as well, but It just does not always work for me because of the headache vibes, okay? So you can always just add any type of vanilla scent that you have to this, and it'll sweeten it up just a little bit more. I thought about adding Gentle Fluidity Gold, but I'm not quite sure. I feel like Gentle Fluidity Gold is a little bit too complex for this one. So you want to do something that is not as complex, kind of like a one-note wonder. And my last layering combination is, I would say, an expensive layering combination because you're pretty much buying the same fragrance twice. So it is Delina Exclusive by Parfums de Marly and the original Delina. Now, when I first went out to purchase Delina, I wanted to get the original, and I got it, and I was just like, you know what, this is just not really my vibe. I'm not jamming with it because you guys know I love my gourmands. So when I was able to smell Delina Exclusive, it had that sweetness to it. It took out that sour rhubarb and it just added a little bit more sweetness, and I fell in love with the scent. But this can be very sweet, okay? And you will get tons and tons and tons of compliments. But the Delina original is one that they call catnip for men because it is so unique yet so feminine and beautiful. It's a pretty girl scent. I say this all the time. It is a pretty girl scent. But when you mix the two together, it just does exactly what it came to do, okay? Because the original is a little too sour for me. So I like a little bit of that sweetness, but it's not, there's no vanilla smell that I can mix with the original to make it work. It is just literally the original Delina and the Delina Exclusive mixed together is the perfect combination. I wish they would have kind of done that. Just added a little bit of this sweetness into the original Delina without removing the rhubarb note. That would have been the scent right there, okay? Now, I don't have both because these are expensive fragrances. So here's a little tip. I picked up Delina Exclusive, and then I also have the hand cream of the original Delina. They have the hand cream, they have the body cream, and you can mix them that way so you can layer it. And it is the best smell in the world. When I wear this, I get so many compliments. Even if I'm not really feeling it that day, everybody and their mama is asking me about this fragrance, okay? Men and women alike. So that is one way that you can get both at the same time without spending the hefty price. Now, the only thing is, I would say buy the one that you like the most in the bottle and then get the other one in the cream. But here's the thing. He knew what he was doing because they only have the creams in the original Delina. So you would have to buy the Delina Exclusive and then mix with the original Delina cream, body cream or hand cream. And that works for me because I do favor and I am partial to Delina Exclusive just a teeny bit more than I am the original Delina. All right, guys. So that is the end of my top 10 layering fragrance combinations. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. This was super fun for me. One thing about layering fragrances, I highly recommend it because you're not going to smell like anybody else. Well, now that I've shared, we're going to be smelling alike. But let me listen, don't be petty, girl. Put your favorite layering combinations in the comment section down below because if I've shared, you need to share too, okay? Because I was going around smelling all unique and things, and now you're going to be smelling like me. I need to be smelling like you. So make sure you guys put your favorite layering combinations in the comment section down below. Like I said, don't be petty, girl. And I will talk to you on my next video. Bye. So just